Hey, first alert update. A Green Bay woman is back in custody after being sentenced for another crime last week. Marcelia Fonseca was arrested yesterday afternoon for obstructing an officer. According to the criminal complaint, Fonseca was told by a probation officer to turn around so she could be taken into custody. She refused and pinned her back against the wall. The complaint says she had to be physically restrained to be handcuffed. The documents say even while being escorted in handcuffs, Fonseca continued to verbally and physically resist. Today in court, Fonseca pleaded not guilty to that charge. She was granted a $1,500 signature bond. Fonseca accepted a plea deal with prosecutors just last week in connection to a deadly fire that killed her 11-month-old nephew in 2019. She was sentenced to 4 years of initial confinement, 5 years supervision, and 200 hours of community service. Since she already served that time in confinement, she essentially had time served and was ordered to report to probation after the hearing. Her next appearance for this latest charge will take place in October.